Hello, fellow traders. Welcome back for kind of recap and extension of my previous video, which of course injected a lot of responses, both by comments and following and emails. Still, I have to check on my Skype because time, as I said, is very limited. But somehow I thought, as I have a bit of time today, which is Saturday the 14th of November, so markets are closed, as you can see also from my trading platform, which is still, I decided to give extra information, which I think is a good thing even for having a prosecution and an extra confirmation of the things I'm doing by using math in my approach to the Forex analysis, therefore the Forex trading. So also I will try to be very short, brief, and somehow providing some extra information. So let's go directly to the point, straight up. Probably, as you can remember from my previous video, and in any case, if you didn't see that, I strongly suggest first of all to watch the previous one, which basically is this one, on which I shown some performances of a month of trading, which in real then was not exactly 30 days of trading, was less, and I will briefly speak about this in terms of result and performances. If you remember, I had shown this previous statement, which was anyway taken in the space of a month, which basically is this. Okay, with all the trades that of course you can stop, pause your video and then check by yourself. So basically we got this, which is exactly the same. Then of course I started, as a prosecution, because it was, as usual, I do demo for my videos for educational purposes. I use a demo account which replicates my trades, but anyway gives the idea of the performance of my analysis. And also, let's see if we find, and this was the starting of the new account for the next month, which had this performance in the very 2 days of trading, which basically is this, right? So we were at this point, so I hope that this is our starting point from today. So what to say? Basically, this was the original trades starting from the 4th of November 2020 and was for the days the 4th and the 5th, so 2 days of trading, by having this performance with this result. Meantime, 1 week has passed, because now we are at the 14th of November, so, and it's Friday, so let's say until the 13th of November, and the results up to now, from this point that I've left you with this analysis. So again, the 4th, the 5th, and then prosecuting, I traded then the 10th of November, putting multiple trades that I will explain in a while, because I was a little bit early in some trades, so I added some positions, the 11th, the 12th and the 13th. Okay, so we got these days extra, and the performance arrived to this result, which is also the one that I can show you. So we have 16,887.80 and of profit, which results in a total amount of 66,887.80, which is exactly 66,88700.80. Okay, so this is actually what I'm doing. So I will keep this statement to make some extra considerations and arrive at certain points, because trading is not always an exact science. Sometimes you do things that are perfectly right, you enter at the perfect moment, because also you have time to be in time for trading. Sometimes you're too late, sometimes you're too early, sometimes you are getting a move that then has already finished. But if you are capable of reading exactly the markets and the situation goes against you, which means a negative instead of a profit, positive profit, then you can always adjust your trades in order to create a kind of compensation. Compensate and closing with a very small profit is always definitely better than closing with a loss, right? So this can be the compromise in order to maintain a stability and a consistency in getting results in trading. So profits must be as higher as possible, and losses must be reduced to a zero for what is possible. It's not possible 100%, especially on a large scale of trades and a large scale of events, economic events that occur every day. And but we need to keep the losses close to zero, or at least with a very small profit, which is anyway even more sustainable for as regards the psychology in trading for the day and the day after. Okay, so let's start from some assumptions, because this is the new statement that I'm bringing up day by day. So just to keep an update, and of course, if I have time, I will do more videos depending on the time available. During the week it was not possible, so I decided to make something today, which is Saturday, because I had some time for do that. Okay, so let's just have a brief recap. Now, even if you see my face, which is not, I'm still here. Okay, so let's grab some considerations. Okay, first, so from the statements that I've shown you, let me just arrange some pen. Okay, so we got, let me just do this. Okay, so in the first account, which was 1 month, okay, and you can go and check by watching the video, pausing that, and see all the trades. In real, I traded for exactly 19 days, okay, of trading. Follow my concept. Starting with a base of 50,000 units of currency, the gain was 33 16,300 and something. Okay, this in result is a plus 66%, as I stated, in 19 days. Okay, now we have the second, then I will show you that again. Okay, it's just to have a recap for those who were asking me the performances in the long term, and of course with the compounding effect you can then do the math by yourselves. On the second account, which is the prosecution, so the day after, the effective days of trading that I was that were available for me to be done were 6. Okay. Always starting with 50,000 units of currency, which was basically the same as here. So let's say that I could have been also starting with this amount together. You know that demo accounts have 1 month of major of brokers give them with 1 month of life. So just to prosecute, I got anyway for 6 days of trading roughly was 16,887 plus dot something on a base of 50,000. This was another extra gain of plus 33%. Okay, in 6 days this time, the other in 19 days. If I had a prosecution from this account without having the noise of redoing an account anyway, I would have made this amount of profit plus this amount of profit, starting with 50,000. Okay, so by doing the math till now, by starting with the 50,000 units of trading, the effective gain in 19 plus 6 so 25 days of effective trading was 33 and 324 plus 16,887 was plus 50,000 and 212. You do the math yourself to see if I'm doing wrong. Okay, plus something, I think it was 80 here, plus 80. So, no, it was 2022, and this was 88 thing. So, roughly, it was this result, which is 100% plus in 25 days. Okay, so because you compound, of course. So this is the results starting and trading and in 25 days. Okay, so performances over time have to be compounded, and imagine if you are doing the same and the same and the same month after month, what this performance of profit can be. And consider that in this I got some winning trades and some losing trades. Okay, so there was also some negative results, but in the overall balance, especially when you trade a specific currency, because that example was taken trading the British pound, there could be that not all the pairs are going in the same direction or with same kind of force. Okay, and some of them can also be negative, but if you trade 7 pairs and 5 of them are more than positive and 2 of them are negative with a minor gray, because you are anyway detecting and trading the right direction for that day or for those hours in the day, the result is anyway more than positive. Okay, so in regards to this, because also I got a request in regards to the losing trades or whatever, let me just do some kind of statement. So what is a wrong trade? Let's write this way. What is a wrong trade? At least this is what I can say from my experience. Okay, so a wrong trade could be when you make an analysis and you detect a wrong direction of an asset. Okay, but something can go wrong, which doesn't mean you are detecting something wrong, but something can go wrong because you enter the trades too early, sorry for writing not very well, too early, or entering a trade too late, or to enter long at a high, or enter short at a low price. Okay, this could be something that I hope makes you think in terms of improving the way you're trading by asking yourself these questions and trying to find a way to improve them. Okay, so major of time, if you're not successful or whatever, ask yourself, did I detect the wrong direction? Did I made a good analysis, but I entered too early or too late, which basically could mean also entering a long or a short position at a high or a low price. Okay, so these are the conditions, and we are all subjects of these possible issues in our day trading, especially in manual trading. Okay, so no one accepted can encounter these difficulties. Do you agree with me? So anyway, no mistakes are irreversible. There's always a possible solution, because if I understand that something is going wrong and I am capable, let's say I enter too early. Okay, so let's say I detect that a currency, I'm always thinking in terms of currency. Okay, so for example, when I traded the GBP, I want to be sure that you get that I am trading Euro, GBP, I'm trading GBP, USD, CAD, AUSI, NZD, CHF, and JPY, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and they are always GBP. Okay, so when I'm trading GBP and in my charting on my Excel, I have a line of GBP, which of course normally you read it in this direction, but now for this educational purposes I will do this from left to right as a normal asset. This GBP, in this case anyway, currency and not pair, is the result of all this together. Okay, so let's say that my currency is moving in this direction, and by my analysis I detect that this is the right direction. Okay, so I go long and I enter a trade at this level. Price goes up a bit and then has a retracement, probably because I'm too early and I'm starting this before, for example, the London session. And maybe there is a retracement like of 30 pips even, okay, in the overall total. So if I know that by the continuous reading this anyway is the right direction, and I have more intuition and confirmation of being right despite the drawdown that I am suffering, I can always think of reinforcing this position at specific levels. So split, instead of trading, I don't know, a certain amount of lot size, splitting that in 0.3, for example, 0.3 and 0.3, which also gives me the opportunity, the moment a currency goes in the right direction, to take profit of 2/3 of my trade and leave another third for further market movements. Okay, so this provides me also this opportunity. But if I am, for example, in the sense that I start to detect that something is going long and then it starts to retrace, and at a certain point from my reading I realize that the main direction, because of some macroeconomic events, exogenous events, it's now short, because market can change. There's nothing that can be certain 100%. Well then, even in that case, because I had detected a wrong direction, okay, which is similar to the case of being too late, because for example I get the whole movement, big movement, and I enter long here, and then the price starts to go in the opposite direction. So is this the case, while this one was this one? Okay, so which is basically, in other terms, buying high or selling low. In this case it's a buy high. Well, of course, despite some loss that I am experiencing, I can always, by reconsidering all the analysis, to set a proper amount of lot sizes that allow me, first of all, to recover the loss and get the loss to zero, and then take the rest as a positive profit, even if by doing this it requires an extra amount of work, which I have to be available to do in order to maintain stability in my trading. Okay, so what we see in this case, and now let me switch to another color, there were days, just to take the last statement, okay, there were days where the majority of my trades, sorry, let me just also do this, made a trend line right up, which means I was perfectly right and in time with my analysis, and also buying or selling at the proper price level. Other days like this, okay, I could have been much late, entering the trades not a very good price level, but having the opportunity anyway to rather than having some margin here, having just a little profit. But if I didn't do some extra work on this, so if I wouldn't have not adjusted with extra trades in order to compensate and reread the charts in order to accord to the market performance, this one, instead of being very narrow but up line, would have been something that was going down. Okay, do you agree with me? Then in this third scenario, and even in this fourth, okay, there was 100% or almost 100% of right direction and a good timing in entering the trade, which means not the good time, but the good time equals to a good price level. It's a bit of contradictory, but it is what it is. Okay, so we do not have to expect that every day is the same, even because, you know, especially in these times with all the pandemics, with a new president of United States, with a stock market that has you know, very alternate performances, and the monetary policy of specific countries, especially the dollar, we cannot expect to predict everything. We can expect, for sure, we have to search anyway the right reading of the day and make a deal with it. Okay, so even if there is a day or two where I could have anyway had a loss, for me it's better to get a very small profit. Okay, which is fine. It's a good deal. For me, it's very encouraging and psychologically something that hurts me in a positive sense, the fact of anyway closing with some profit, even if it's not that much. And I think that this kind of situation where some errors can be done in the evaluation of the market are anyway not that much important the moment you understand how to solve them. Okay, so how to compensate a loss and create a profitable position from a losing position. Okay, so I hope that this can be clear in terms of what we can do by approaching our trade and our analysis based on this kind of charting, this kind of math, and the math applied that shows us, for example, how the GBP, this is the charting of Friday. Okay, for as regard the GBP, the dollar, so GBP based, dollar based, and all the currencies together. Some days are more clear. The Friday, it's more heavy, even the Monday or the first day of the month or the first Friday of the month, which when we have also some news like the non-farm payrolls and stuff like that. So there are situations where the markets are more difficult to be read and other days where the markets are more easy to be read. There are days where we have great oscillations where the price at the end of the day doesn't move that much from the beginning of the day, and other days where we have trending conditions. Of course we would like to have all the days trending, but this is not the reality. So we need to adapt, and in order to adapt we need to be very adaptive. Yeah, so just to recap also for answering to the questions, the observation I got, let me just, so to improve trading, first of all we need to have we need to be adaptive. Day by day. We need to be observers. Okay, we need to observe, I mean, would be like observe and report. We need to have let's say a stable mathematical model that recreates the market performance. Okay. We need to have some rules. And follow them. And these rules are related to the analysis, and to the money and risk management. Okay, so to develop a strategy that works, we don't have to do much things, you know. We have to develop our mathematical model, observe it. Observation is really important. I got, you know, I had to confrontate myself with a lot of traders that are trading just by following some videos with indicators, with support resistance, but without making their own, paying their own duty of observing every day the market. A lot of people read a lot of books, but when it's time to read the book of the charts, of the charting, which is the most and first source of information in the Forex, they don't even read a chart for 5 minutes. I can actually assure you that I read the markets day by day, even by getting experience, like if it was the first day, sometimes 8 hours a day. And this doesn't mean you have to stay then 8 hours to trade every day, but it means that if you want to learn and observe the dynamics that are related, especially in this approach that consider currencies rather than pairs, the observation must be very accurate and taken on a large scale until you reach a point that you can be capable of developing a math model, a model based on math. Okay, because we're dealing with numbers, as I always said, and the language of the numbers is math. So I will not suggest any other thing different from math. And this is, of course, my approach. I'm not saying that this is the only approach. In fact, there are many successful traders that are not following this approach to the Forex analysis. But this is good, in my opinion, for Forex. Math is less applicable the kind of math I'm using is less applicable, for example, to the market of the commodities or to the stock market, because in that case we have a completely different marketplace. It's a centralized market, it's not an over-the-counter market like Forex. So we have different rules, but in Forex there is this peculiarity of dealing with assets, which are the pairs, that are just fractions of an entire number that defines the currencies. So as said, GBP or any other currency is the result of Euro, GBP, GBP USD, GBP CAD, AUD, NZD, CHF and JPY. Okay, so for those who are willing to have this approach, anyway, they have to remember these points as well. And when you have to follow your rules, you have to keep them following, and when you go wrong in something, you have to analyze them and think about if you didn't follow the rule or if you follow it, but there's something in the ruling that you have to rather than adapt, correct. Okay, this is a process that can take years, but it's important to follow the steps in order to be consistent. Consistency in profit means consistency in the approach. Okay, so after this, I can, what else I can say if not to thank you for watching this video, for the comments you're always writing, and for the subscribing of this channel. And of course, I really suggest you, if you didn't see that before, to watch also the previous video, which this one is a kind of prosecution. And as usual, I wish you a good space and a good time.